Hello, viewer. This is vlog day 9, 7/7/2014, and I have finally reviewed the videos that I have made so far, and I made some notes for myself. Notes for myself, right there. You probably didn't see them. I did not mean for you to see them. Uh, so, one of the things I put in my notes that I cannot read right now because I don't have my glasses is that I wear glasses. Um, you saw this in like the third video, and I had thought that I had taken off my glasses for all the videos so that they wouldn't be in any of them. One of the reasons for that was that, as you saw in the video if you watched it, there's a glare off of any light that is in just the right angle. And a little ball of light will appear in the glasses and it sort of distracts. And it's a thing that movie people have loads of trouble with all the time. Um, that's one of the reasons, and one of the other reasons that uh, I didn't really want the glasses on for the videos because I know that I look like significantly different without my glasses on. So, also, um, I did not work today, and uh, right at the beginning, after breakfast, I went with my dad to a used car dealership, and we spent 6 hours buying a car. Buying a car. I now own a 2009 Hyundai Santa Fe, all black on the outside. Just a few minor scratches on it, and a little bit of wear on the inside. Actually looks really nice, and it stores stuff really well. Um, Seats like 5 comfortably, probably. And it's got a roof rack with the crossbars, so I don't need anything extra on it to be able to haul my kayak around. So yeah, it should be a good vehicle. Not as good gas mileage as I wanted, but I couldn't get anything that would do everything I wanted that would have great gas mileage anyways. So it still hasn't quite sunk in entirely that I now own a car. I mean, I don't technically own it because it's financed to a bank, um, but I paid $4,000 on a car, and I'm in the process of owning a car. I have a vehicle that I'm responsible for, and it still hasn't quite hit me because every vehicle I've driven up until this point has been someone else's responsibility. I've just been in temporary possession of it. So, big deal. Um, let's see. I also realized after watching the videos that I never actually say where I work. Um, I work at Walmart in the dairy cooler, and occasionally I work in the freezer where we keep all the frozen food. Not so much recently because there's a new manager for the freezer, and I don't have to go over there nearly as often when there's a manager over there. So I work in the dairy cooler. Mostly I stock milk and eggs. Every once in a while I stock other stuff. And sometimes I uh, pick merchandise for the back room and I pull it and I stock that if there's no one else here to do it. A lot of other stuff I do is throwing away food that we can't sell. So when I talk about uh, milk and eggs in the dairy cooler, that's my job. Um, and when I talk about claims, that's throwing away stuff. Uh, yeah, so I just figured I should explain that a little bit further. Um, so I have this list, and you'll see me looking down off camera to something that you can't see. I'm going to go over the list, but I'm not going to talk about in detail everything on the list. because I would make this a really long vlog. So, just after watching them, the first thing on the list is Minecraft, and I talked about that, a little bit, just enough to let you know what I think about it. And I don't really need to go into that deeper right now, except to say that I will go into it deeper later when there's more to go into. I'm not really, I'm always really excited about Minecraft, but I'm not really into playing Minecraft right now. I'm doing a lot of watching of Minecraft. I'm still trying to project my words more and slur less, because most of the time it's difficult for me to realize that the words coming out of my mouth sounds different than what they sound like in my head. Okay, so yeah. The direction of my life is next, and after that is Chi Alpha internship. And I'm just mentioning that right now. I may come back to it later in the vlog. I may not. They're really big things, and I may come back to it when there's more development on it, because I am planning on getting more development on it done. Okay. The next thing on the list is there is this girl, or there is a girl. I'm not prepared to talk about that right now, and there isn't currently any development, and there isn't really plans for development at the moment. So I may talk about it when I'm in a better mood to talk about it, and that's just, can't really predict when that's going to happen. The next thing on the list is not good enough, which is something I may talk about tonight, just to put in a clearer picture of what I mean when I'm talking about stuff like that. And in connection to that, I have a couple other things in other places on the list that definitely need to be explained once they're said. And one of them is fear of insanity, and fear of abandonment is the other one. And there's a note on there for me. I noticed this in at least one of the vlogs, maybe more. I touch my nose sometimes quite a bit, and I'm not picking my nose when I touch my nose on camera. I'm rubbing it, and it's usually just because I'm somewhat tired and my nose itches, and I'm going to try and do it less. I may do a lot more of the pulling of the beard hair now, which hopefully isn't super distracting. And then reviewed the vlogs is on there, which I've already told you about. I've reviewed them, and I'm gonna try and review them fairly often. As of the filming of this vlog, I haven't posted these anywhere or showed them to anyone else. I'm the only person that's seen them. So, just for your information. Oh, I'm very tired tonight. So, I don't have a pen or a pencil on me, so I can't mark out anything that's on the list. Okay. So, well, I told you about the big stuff for today. Basically, I spent the whole day buying the car. Afterwards, went to Radio Shack. It took 6 hours, and the only thing we had to eat that day was breakfast. So we were pretty hungry and wanted to get home. But I got this gift card from a lady at church who had to return some stuff. She got Radio Shack, and she gave me the Radio Shack gift card. And I got a couple pairs of headphones, which I guess I can show one on my account. The other one took to my computer. got these Skullcandy headphones right here with this nifty detachable cord, which I can use to plug my phone into my car now. So, got these headphones, and I got a pair of earbuds because it's kind of painful to wear these headphones for long periods of time. Any kind of headphones are like these. These are pretty decent. They're not quite as good as what I was hoping for, but they're pretty decent. Oh, I'm using the tripod again because I don't really like the way having just holding the camera works out. Picture should be more stable than actually. I have actually got the camera up at a higher angle, so I'm looking up at it, and I don't really know how that's going to turn out until I review the video. Okay, so the list. I wanted to, since I saved them and they're kind of super loaded, I want to talk about the not good enough, fear of insanity, and fear of abandonment, which is really a huge part of my life. I guess I want to go over the fear of insanity first because it's sort of the easiest for me to talk about, even though it is a big deal. My grandmother, I know for a fact, has bipolar disorder, manic depressive, and I know from stories and from my dad's personality that it has really interfered with my dad's childhood and with the way he was raised, and it's really affected the way that he interacts with people. So I know that bipolar disorder is genetic. It's something that gets passed down. And just a history of insanity, of mental disability, is generally genetic. And I am definitely sure that my mind works differently than the average person. So I've always had a fear that, or for maybe not always, but for a long time I've had a fear that I might be schizophrenic or bipolar or depressed. I had a kind of a dark time in high school where I just, to tie into the fear of abandonment, I just didn't really believe that I was worth anything. And I guess if I didn't have God or some sort of safety net, family, something to hold on to, I may have hurt myself or committed suicide. I mean, there were definitely things that crossed my mind, but I always had this hope for the future that kept me from doing anything really bad to myself or to anyone else. I never really had a serious desire to hurt people. Maybe an imaginary desire at times, but like I said in an earlier vlog, never really, once I get up close to a person, don't have any desire to hurt them. I may, when I'm away from them, have angry feelings toward them and imagine hurting them, but once I get up to a person and I can see them, I can talk to them, I have absolutely no desire to bring any pain upon them. And I think that's just a part of who I am, a part of the way I grew up. So yeah, I think, without watching over this or having someone else watch and ask questions, I don't know if I can say more about the fear of insanity. I know my mind works different, and I'm afraid that I could lose control of how my mind works, and it could push me into things like hallucinations or paranoia, and I could just start believing little fantasies that I make up and just completely fall into them and give up on real life. I guess that's what I'm afraid of there. Well, I'm going to go back to the connection with the fear of abandonment, which is kind of what has shaped most of my life. Um, and it's really difficult for me to talk about it because I don't remember entirely the the root of it. But I know everyone from childhood has a fear of abandonment that you generally get over by building up trusting friendships and relationships. And I guess I never really did that successfully. Not the way that I was supposed to. In order to have a normal childhood, to grow up normally. Um, and this is sort of or definitely connection with the not good enough, because when people don't stick around, it makes you feel like you're not good enough for them to keep in contact. So I guess the most part of the roots of my fear of abandonment that make the most sense are when I was 10, and I guess before then, my sisters were a huge part of my life. They were 3 and 5 years older than me, and like during summer school, they would help me to learn, or not summer school, during summer when I was out of school, they helped me to learn and I guess help me to kind of be smarter. But around the time I was 10, I think it was around the time I was 10, my oldest sister got married and moved out, and for the longest time I never made this connection. I thought that there was a girl my age that I was very closely connected to, and this may have been the case. A girl that I was very closely connected to and had as much as that age as you can have a very close relationship with, moved away, and I had never seen again. And I had memories that may not have been memories about weird things that might have been something that pushed us away and made us have to be separated. And for the longest time, they felt like memories, but they might not have been. Could have just been something that was in my head as a dream, and I've had really bad, scary dreams when I was a kid. It's because I felt very alone sometimes. But more recently, like the last few years, I made the connection that at the same time when I had thought of that happened, when I had in school, I had been very active. I would get through with my schoolwork, and I'd start talking to kids, and I'd be sort of disruptive, and it showed up in my report cards. And then after I turned 10, I suddenly got really quiet, and I didn't do that anymore, and I started stuttering, and I actually had to go through some like verbal counseling to stop the stuttering. And I started just I wouldn't talk unless I was asked to. I wouldn't talk unless somebody talked to me. But I realized fairly recently that my sister had gotten married and moved out of the house, and I rarely saw her, and that was about the same time as all this other stuff happened. And I guess I just recently sort of realized that I I felt that I wasn't an important enough part of her life for her to stay, I guess. And that was like a big connection to my fear of abandonment. People go away. A short while after that, my other sister, was 3 years older than me, she went into high school, and before that we would be on the bus together. In high school, it's an hour difference when you go. So we were on the bus together, and I saw her a lot less. And then just a few years later, she went to college. I saw her even less. And I would have friends that would move, and I didn't get to spend time with them anymore. And especially when I got into high school, friends I had in elementary school and middle school, they weren't friends anymore because we weren't like as closely connected as we were in elementary school or in middle school. And I guess I never really felt that I had anything to offer in a friendship or relationship. In those tough years when going through puberty and you're starting to look at people differently, at relationships, I didn't feel like I was good enough to start anything like that. And I wanted to a couple of times. I would look and I would think about who I would be interested in having a life together with. And for me, that's what it was. Even at a young age, it wasn't just a relationship, a girlfriend. It was a life I would think about. Which I guess sort of makes sense because my oldest sister got married, and then when my closer sister graduated from college, she got married, and I just never really had a close influence on my life of casual relationships. And my parents were close, and there's never even there's never been a hint of divorce in our family. I would think of things that way as long-term committed relationships. I think I'm not good enough for a long-term committed relationship. And part of the core of that was that I wasn't in physical shape. And I knew that that's the first thing people look at. I mean, they don't know what's inside my head. They don't know that I'm a really good person. Like, better than average. I don't even know, like, without being super prideful, I care more than a lot of people do. And I know that I don't do enough about what I care about, but I know that I care. And people can't see that when they look at me, I don't think. All they see is this guy. And when I was younger, I think it was a bigger deal because I guess I let that define me. But now I'm starting to realize more that people don't think of me like that. They see me better than I think they do. But it's still difficult for me to get in my head that I would be good enough for that kind of relationship. And I think doing this is going to help me get that into my head. I talked way too long in this vlog, and I've hit like a bunch of really important stuff. So, end of vlog day 9, 7/7/2014. Goodbye, viewer.